Fury fam, I just want to touch base with you guys regarding the playoffs. The NFL and the owners have, in fact, settled on a resolution to the AFC playoff format and certain changes that are made, being that the league has decided they will not be playing the Buffalo-Cincinnati game. After all, it will not resume. And due to it not resuming, there are some contingencies and some issues that the NFL owners have now voted on that will take place. First of all, if you haven't done so, subscribe to this channel right now. Click subscribe. It's right underneath me. Everybody who has joined Fury Fam in the last couple weeks, much love, much respect. Welcome to the family. Everybody who's been donating, everybody who's been participating, I love you. You're getting me through a tough end to the season. But here are the proposed changes, and actually I won't call them proposed anymore because now they are solidly actual changes that are occurring now. So the owners voted today, and essentially what will happen is if Baltimore beats Cincinnati this weekend, then there will be a coin flip to determine whether the game is played at Baltimore or at Cincinnati. So it's a coin flip now. No matter who wins, if Baltimore wins, it's a coin flip to see where they would play. If Cincinnati wins, the game would be played in Cincinnati. So that's an interesting turn of events. It's just going to hinge on a coin flip. Second, another huge change is if the AFC Championship features two teams that could have earned the number one seed had they played 17 full games. If that occurs, so I think that pretty much means if the Bills play the Chiefs and the Bills win this week, and I'm not sure regarding Cincinnati, but if it gets to a point where, Kansas City, if it gets to a point where the Bills are playing the Chiefs and week 17 or week 18, I should say, the last week coming up, works out a certain way, then that game will be played at a neutral site rather than being played at Buffalo or at Kansas City. So that's the other thing. So essentially the only changes we have is if Baltimore beats Cincinnati this weekend, then that wild card game where it's played will be decided on a coin flip. And if Buffalo plays Kansas City under certain circumstances, then that game will be played at a neutral site. That's what we're seeing. The second piece of news I have is Dolphins related, and that is that Mike White has in fact been ruled out of this week's game versus the Dolphins for the Jets. The Jets will be starting Joe Flacco at quarterback, and the Miami Dolphins will be starting Skylar Thompson at quarterback. So for all of the people out there saying Skylar is the answer, Skylar is the best quarterback on this roster, you will have your day, and you will probably have 2 days of reckoning. Either Skylar's going to get it done or he's not going to get it done. Again, I'm not saying it means he's doomed for the future if he doesn't get it done, but we will see if he is what a lot of people want him to be. Because if they do win and the Patriots do lose, I believe Miami gets in the playoffs, and we're going to have a hell of a rough game, and a rough go the first game, no matter who we play. But Skylar may well start that game as well, as it doesn't look like Tua is anywhere near coming back. And I don't know that Teddy A is going to have a healed finger by then, and I don't know if Teddy B is the guy they want to start if Skylar wins and they make the playoffs. Intriguingly, another AFC playoff scenario that had been tossed around initially was that the AFC would, for one season, expand to 8 teams. Had the NFL gone with that strategy and expanded the playoffs in the AFC to 8 teams, then the Jets would have a chance this week, and they'd have a lot more to play for. But it's my understanding that that is not a part of the new scenario. And therefore, the New York Jets are eliminated from the playoffs already, so they don't have anything to play for on Sunday other than being a spoiler to the Miami Dolphins, and we're division rivals, so let's face it, they want to spoil the Miami Dolphins' chance of going to the playoffs. But with Joe Flacco playing, I think Miami's chances of winning this game significantly go up. although I don't know that it's a done deal. I don't think it's a done deal. Miami is reeling. They are not playing good football, and I don't have a lot of faith in them. But their chances of winning went up significantly with this particular situation now with Joe Flacco starting. The Patriots still need to lose to the Bills. The Bills have something to play for, although the Bills are obviously going through a lot of things themselves, and they're in the playoffs no matter what. So we'll see how the Bills-Pats turns out. Miami needs to beat the Jets and have the Patriots lose for Miami to get in. And I believe if both Miami and the Patriots lose, the Steelers might get in, is what I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but that's what I think's going on. It's interesting because, as I've been saying, if Miami makes the playoffs, what does it really do? It changes the conversation, and it starts talking about the Dolphins as a playoff team. And I know people get mad at me when I bring up narratives and how important they are, but they are very important. And I think this organization needs serious structural changes. Quite frankly, that's my personal opinion. I think it needs serious changes. I don't think you can trot back out here with the Mike McDaniel-Tua tandem and expect to do anything or be true contenders. That's my position. I do think if they make the playoffs, the narrative goes from Mike McDaniel cannot get the most out of Tua. Tua cannot stay healthy. Dolphins catastrophically missed the playoffs after an 8-3 start. It switches to Mike McDaniel overcomes Tua's injury adversity and makes the playoffs in his first year as head coach. And I don't think that's really an accurate description of what occurred this year, but I do think it would give the Dolphins fodder to bring back this same tandem next year and expect us to believe that we're going to make strides. And that would, in my opinion, not be the right decision. So let's see what happens, and then we can discuss it after the fact. But, it brings up a lot of interesting perspectives and talking points. So I just wanted to touch base and let you know that if Baltimore beats Cincinnati, that game's going to be a coin flip in the wild card to see where it's played. And if Buffalo and KC meet, assuming all goes as we think it's going to go, then that game will probably be played on a neutral site. And it's interesting to me because I did the video last week on the Skip Bayless thing, and Skip Bayless said it's interesting. How are they going to schedule this game? No doubt they need to. No doubt it's an important game. But none of that seems relevant right now because obviously it wasn't, because somebody was being resuscitated on the field. But nonetheless, he took all kinds of heat for that, and now you're seeing people just a few days later, going all over the place on the scheduling issue. Furious, some are happy, some are discussing it, some are vehemently discussing it. There's arguments, there's debates, just like everybody knew they would do, just like most people were doing on their couches and thinking out loud during the game. But, everybody was holier than thou, and now all of a sudden they're having the same conversations. I'm not taking a position one way or the other. I still think Skip Bayless's comment was ill-timed and in poor taste at the moment. But the way that people reacted and acted like they were so above any of that type of talk to only turn around and do it a couple days later while the young man is still in the hospital it's just indicative of some of the ways our society and human nature goes about things, which I think is an issue we can all reflect upon on our own time. Anyway, guys, if you haven't done so yet, smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you very soon to discuss what goes down in this game. Fins up, Larry K out.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio